Hey guys, and welcome back to DarkLogic Studios' Attack on Titan theories and discussions. Before we go any further, I want to give you fair warning that these videos are going to contain lots and lots of spoilers. So if you're not caught up with the manga, then what are you doing with your life? Seriously though, if you don't want spoilers, you should probably click on something else. If you're all caught up though, then let's get to it. Alright guys, so let's talk about the 9th Titan shifter. Who could this 9th Titan be? Now we already know who the other 8 are and who they belong to. The Progenitor and the Attack Titan are held by Eren, the Colossal is held by Armin, Annie is still the female Titan, Reiner is still the Armored Titan, Zeke's still the Beast Titan, the Cart Titan, it was just revealed, was a woman named Pike or Piku, not quite sure yet, and the Jaw Titan, or the Dancing Titan, which Ymir had, is now held by Galliard. So, but there's still one Titan missing. And who could that Titan be? Where is this Titan? Does the Marley have it? Do the Eldians have it? Did the last shifter who had this ability die and it was lost to anybody, everybody? What's going on with this? So, I think it's safe to say that the 9th Titan shifter is going to end up being a big reveal. We've had this thing, the story's been teasing about this whole 13-year thing and that Eldians can be born as Titan shifters and blah 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 blah. And so this is going to happen at some point. And I'm pretty sure that this 9th Titan must be somebody who was born with this power. Otherwise, how else would this come into play? Like, that just seems like that must be what is going on. Because neither the Marley or the Eldians appear to have possession of this last shifter. There's been no mention of this last shifter among either one of them. And Zeke even pretty much states that the Eldians only have 4 shifters. Now, I think that Zeke might be a little bit of a red herring in this chapter, what he's saying, but I want to talk about that later in a video about Zeke. But I definitely don't think that the Marley have this last shifter. Zeke also said that there has been no evidence of somebody being born as a shifter. I'm not sure how they can tell that, how they find that out, whether it's like obvious from the get-go or take some time. We don't know that yet. But I think we can assume that the Marleyans don't have this last Titan. So is it with the Eldians that are on the Marleyan continent or the Eldians on Paradise Island? There is a chance that it could be a child in the ghetto that they haven't discovered yet, but again, I think that's unlikely because it's already been stated that they haven't found any evidence for it. So I think we can kind of take that as there's no Eldian shifters in the ghettos. So this last Titan shifter has to be on Paradise Island, somewhere within the walls. So who could it be? And do the Survey Corps know about it? Again, I think we can assume that the Survey Corps don't know about it because we've heard no mention of it. No mention from the government, no mention from the higher-ups or whatever. So unless they're like hiding this last shifter for whatever reason, then I think it's safe to assume that the Eldians don't know where this last shifter is either, and probably aren't aware if it is among them. And because the people on Paradise Island just got this information that babies could be born with this power, then they obviously don't have any blood tests or whatever to check for that. So depending on how this works, this could mean that there's some mysterious kid wandering around within the walls who has a Titan power that hasn't been revealed yet. Or this last Titan shifter could be somebody that we already know, perhaps possibly a major character. The reason I say this because we're not sure when a child is born with this shifter ability. Do they only live for 13 years? Or is there some kind of trigger that activates this power? And then once that trigger is activated, that's when the clock starts ticking. And we don't know how it works yet, but if that is the case, and these born shifters can in fact live beyond 13 years, now that could give us the possibility that this last shifter is somebody we know. So who could it be? Now, there are a few likely candidates in my opinion. The first one is one that a lot of other people have pointed out, especially after this last chapter, because this Mads Mikkelsen character, like, what is he, like the general of the Marley, I think, asked the question, do we have any Titans with wings? Which nobody really answered him. So that was an interesting thing to say. And it kind of made me wonder, it made a lot of other people wonder, is there a Titan shifter out there with wings? Is the last Titan shifter, could that be a Titan with wings? Like a flying Titan? Like, is that gonna be a thing? And have we seen a Titan with wings before? Well, kind of, yeah. In the OVA with the food stuff. I think it's called Sudden Visitor. We have that scene where like it's kind of a joke thing where Pixis, I think he like imagines everybody is titans or whatever, and everybody turns into a titan, and you see Historia's titan in the background, and she's got these big old wings and like angel wings, and like I always thought that it was just kind of like part of this ongoing joke about her being called a goddess or whatever, but I'm learning more and more that there are no such thing as coincidences in this manga, so maybe, just maybe, that could be Historia's actual titan form, and she is the one who's going to end up being the last titan shifter. We can't be sure of that, obviously. After all, this is just a joke thing, and like, can we look at this and determine what these characters might look like as titans? And if you look at Armin, does he look like the titan that he actually turned into? If he had his full face, then maybe. I can't really tell. Who knows? Maybe that would be her actual, like, shifting form. So, and again, with this whole, like, quote about, is there a titan with wings? It just seems kind of like, maybe, but I'm not so sure. Because, here's the thing, guys. If Historia ended up being the final titan shifter, like, don't you think that would be a little bit too convenient? Like, if that happened, it just doesn't seem like it would flow with the plot very well. You know, when Rod Rice was trying to get her to take the Titan serum and become the progenitor Titan. I mean, we already had this whole thing about her, like, rejecting becoming a Titan because she didn't want to perpetuate the first king and his ideology and his will, which would have ultimately led to the extinction of the Eldians if it had gone on that way. But then again, she wouldn't be inheriting the progenitor Titan this time. If she did end up being a shifter, she would be this, whatever this 9th Titan is, this winged Titan, let's assume. And so she wouldn't have the progenitor Titan, which, does that mean that she would be immune to the first king's will? It seems like it, because Zeke has the Beast Titan, and he doesn't seem affected by the first king's will because he has the Beast Titan, not the progenitor Titan, but he still has these special powers with the Beast Titan. So we can assume that if Historia had a shifter power and she became a shifter, or found out that she was a shifter, then she would also have this heightened ability to control the Titans, as Zeke does. So I guess maybe easier be able to help Eren use the coordinate. I don't know. But still, it just seems like it would be too easy for her to just happen to have this shifter power, just happen to be born with it. Somebody who is of royal blood, who is friends with somebody who's the coordinate, who they need to use to get rid of the people who want to get rid of them. So, not saying it won't happen, but it just seems a little bit too convenient. But let's talk about the other possibilities. So who else might we know that may have been a recipient of this Titan shifter ability, if it had been passed on to a newborn child? Now, part of me wants to say that Levi is a possibility, but that's probably just because I've been wanting to see him as a Titan since the whole serum thing happened, and plus he's an Ackerman, so that's probably not going to happen, because he's already got the Ackerman thing going on. He's already got a mystery, so it's probably not going to be a thing. It's kind of disappointing, but so who else? Now, there's only one other person that I can personally think of that it would both be unexpected, but also, I think, kind of work with the flow of the story. And that person is Hanji. And why do I say that? So Hanji is kind of one of the last major characters that we haven't seen a lot of backstory on. Like, I talk a lot about Armin and how we haven't seen his family and we don't know much about his background and whatever. But Hanji is the same way. And it's interesting because Hanji is like one of the smart characters too. And she's really into like the research and stuff and really kind of has this weird affinity for Titans. But we don't really know how she got this way. What happened to her to kind of get her to be a little bit like unhinged like she is. Like when she's talking to Eren about it, she does kind of say that she basically just says that she was tired of being angry, and so she just dedicated herself to learning about the Titans and trying to not, just be consumed by her anger and her grief, which that whole facade seems to have broken down since Erwin died. But maybe there's another reason why Hanji seems so, like, connected and attached and so, like, obsessed with them. Maybe Hanji is a Titan herself, and maybe she knows this, and maybe she's been keeping it a secret all this time. Now, could that be possible? I think so, just considering that she is such a mysterious character, and we know so little about her and her past, and the fact that she has this obsession with the Titans. It seems like if she used to be a really angry person and then she found out that she had this shifter ability and that she was a Titan and she didn't know how to explain it, and she didn't know, like, before Eren was around, she didn't know that people could become Titans, so she's like, what the fuck is this? Like, and she couldn't tell anybody because otherwise people would be like, oh my god, she's the enemy of humanity, we have to lock her up and shit. So she decided that instead of being angry about it, she wanted to learn about it. She wanted to learn what's going on, like, with these Titans. Why is she a Titan? What does this mean for her? What does this mean about her existence? Like, because Hanji's this character that really, like, she doesn't really see the Titans as enemies. She kind of sees them as, like, the way she treats them during these experiments. She almost, like she empathizes with them, and she's, like, stabbing it in the eye, and she's, like, crying at the same time. And it's like, I mean, you know, before you could look at that and be like, oh wow, she's crazy. But if she herself was a Titan shifter and she knew, well, had an idea that these Titan shifters could be human, even though, you know, they talk about how they open up the nape and there's nothing in there, still suspect, then maybe she would, you know, feel really bad about stabbing these things in the eyes and shit. And just being her personality, she just doesn't hold back. So, and that would also explain why she really doesn't seem like she's afraid of Eren when they find out that he's a shifter. You know, she comes right up to the bars and she's all like happy to see him and shit. Like, hey, what's up? So, do you think they could explain her a little bit? So if that is true, if Hanji is a shifter, and she's known this for a while, after they discovered Eren, why did she never reveal her secret, if this is true? Could be a number of reasons for that. She could still be trying to protect herself. After all, if she revealed that she was a shifter, then Reiner and Bertolt would have wanted to take her away with Eren and Ymir. Now there is a possibility that she does not know that she's a Titan shifter, and this is waiting to be revealed even to her. Like, that'd be a pretty big shocker too. But if she does know, and she has been hiding this for all this time, then you might wonder, well, then why is she so surprised and excited every time something happens with Eren? If she herself is a Titan shifter, then shouldn't she be kind of familiar with these things? Should it not be as shocking to her? Well, I think there would be a pretty easy explanation for that, because if she's hiding this, if she's keeping this to herself and she hasn't told anybody else, then it would be very, very difficult, pretty much impossible for her to study herself and her own Titan ability in secret without anybody finding out about it. Because in order to study it, she would have to turn into a Titan, and even if she was able to maintain control, turning into a Titan the first few times, then how would she be able to keep notes? How would she be able to... And how would she hide from people? Like, a Titan's not an easy thing to hide, like, especially because, I mean, not just because it's huge, but, you know, because when somebody turns into a Titan, there's a pretty distinctive giant green bolt of lightning, so it'd be pretty hard to, that would be a pretty difficult thing to hide. Furthermore, even if she did manage to do this, considering who she is and her personality, even if she wasn't that surprised, she would need to act surprised at least, so that people don't suspect her. So when the opportunity finally came where another person was discovered to have this Titan shifter ability, she's like foaming at the mouth, wanting to experiment on him, and she can finally figure out what's up with this thing she's been dealing with all this time, without like exposing herself or putting herself at any risk. So who knows? Who knows? I would like to see Hanji as a Titan. I think that'd be pretty cool. Is there anybody else that it could be? I'm not sure. Sasha, Connie, Jean, whoever, Mikasa. Well, again, Mikasa's an Ackerman, so probably won't be her. So yeah, that's what I think. I think that's the most likely possibility in my opinion. Maybe it'll still be Historia, but again, I feel like that would be too convenient. I think it would be really interesting if it ended up being Hanji, and this kind of ends up being her thing, because every single character has got something going on with them. Like, and the ones that haven't yet, it's just a matter of time, man, because that's the way this manga goes. Anyway, tell me you guys what you thought in the comments. What do you guys think? Do you think this could be a possibility? Think I'm onto something? Or do you think it could be totally wrong? Who do you think the last shifter is? And do you think it'll have wings? Now, last but not least, big shout out to our first 3 patrons. Thank you guys so much for your pledges. I was not expecting to get 3 right away. Like, thank you guys, this is awesome. Thank you guys so much for your help and your support, and I thank the rest of you guys too for all your encouraging words and just being patient and sharing your suggestions. Like, I went from panic and death mode to feeling all warm and fluffy inside, so thank you guys so much for all your help. Now I'm still trying to think of rewards for the Patreon, so please, if you can think of anything, let me know what kind of rewards you guys would be interested in. Somebody had suggested doing a monthly discussion with my patrons, and I've been thinking about that too. I think that's a really cool idea, so I want to do that sometime in the future. Of course, that's going to be after I get my hardware upgraded, so because there's no way my computer can handle it right now. So if you want to speed up that process, if you want to help out, then visit my Patreon and consider donating. I'm doing a thing right now, if you guys are interested. If you like my art style, I'm doing art commissions for the higher tier rewards. So if you do a $10 pledge, you'll get a complimentary custom Attack on Titan art commission in black and white. And if you do the $20 one, you'll get it in color. And if you have any questions about that, you can go ahead and message me on Facebook or ask me in the comments. Feel free to leave suggestions for other rewards. Whatever you guys would be interested in. I really want to know, so give me some ideas. But again, thank you, our first 3 patrons, Kevin, Alex, and Ibrahim. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you guys so much for your donations. And thank you to every single one of you for your continued support. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Peace.